So while we come to this practice, mostly people come to this practice when they are in some level of distress, when they are struggling. We come to this when we are suffering because we want answers, we want solutions. Um, it's not that we have to practice only when we are in distress. We actually need to practice all along because one very interesting analogy given by Jon Kabat-Zinn. Jon Kabat-Zinn is somebody who started mindfulness-based stress reduction in the US. One good example given by him is that this practice is like weaving a parachute. You don't start weaving a parachute when you have to jump out of the plane. You weave a parachute way before, just in case you have to jump out of the plane. So the way the practice helps is when you're in acute issues, and it may be the hardest to practice at that time, because at that time trying to change your mind is even more difficult. When you're really depressed, when you're really feeling negative, when you're really down, that's not the time that you want to try and apply the practice and then feel disappointed that, hey, this is not helping, I can't keep my mind in place. No, it is to be done at a time when you're not in the most of distress. That's why it's helpful to keep a particular time, if possible, regularly. You can practice any time that you want. Some people are good in the morning, some people practice well in the nights. Times where you're not sleepy, times where you feel reasonably awake and you're not in a big hurry or stressed that you have to do the next thing. Okay, but it's important not to use a new tool at the time that is the most difficult. It's not helpful. It's helpful to use a tool regularly, sharpen it, understand how it feels in your fingers, know how to use it, then it automatically gets applied to a difficult time. If because you're working with your mind and all difficulties arise from there is no other place it's arising from. So if you are using a practice to help your mind, it has to help you when things are difficult, but it's not going to help you when things are difficult now. So don't have that expectation that right now, because I'm learning this is going to solve all my problems. No, it's not going to. But it's going to really help you to work with your mind so that you come to a place where things become easier to handle. The same things that used to hurt more may hurt lesser over a period of time. Things that used to stick will stick less with you. Things that used to get too anxious about, you'll be less anxious about. That's how we expect the practice to sort of work with us. So it is slow, but it's a lifetime practice. It's going to change. What changes will change for good. You continue practicing, whatever changes for good. It's not a short-lived practice, but it's a slow practice. So don't have those expectations. And the reason we have decided 8 weeks, most courses if you see are about 8 weeks. The reason for 8 weeks is because there's a neuroscience study that has shown that 8 weeks of mindfulness practice changes not only the functions in the brain, but it changes even the structure, has caused even structural changes in the brains like cortical thickness and so on. So when you are practicing, a whole different set of neurons are active, which are not your habitually active neurons. These are a whole different set of neurons because that's not how you treat your mind or behave with your mind normally. So you're activating a different set of neurons, you're creating a different functional ability in the brain, but also a different structural ability in the brain. So that's why 8 weeks of regular practice, the study showed that 8 weeks of 20 minutes practice a day creates these changes. Okay, so maybe you'll not do 8 weeks of 20 minutes, maybe you'll do 9 weeks of 15 minutes. I don't think that's a big deal, but the point is that practice regularly, and that's the core, right?